You're listening to the LouddMouth Radio Network.
And that he was the father, and I could not take my child with me. Wow. So anytime that I went to the police departments, the police tried to lock me up for telling them someone kidnapped my child who was not his father. And, I had five detectives around me, surrounding me, accusing me of throwing my baby in the trash and why would you give him to a stranger? And you know what I mean? It was a lot.
That's dramatic, man.
It's a lot.
So I know by the time I came around, I don't know, I know that the person in Chicago, the distance between the person in Chicago and me was, I think, 2 more people in between. Yep. So by the time I got to you, so if he was taking a 7 months and your mom was in Chicago then, so within a 4-year time period, there was a relationship behind that one.
Mm-hmm. And I think my mom, like, maybe after I left, I think they lasted maybe another year. Mm-hmm. They got divorced.
Okay. And then it was another.
And then she had another person. Those were girlfriends. And I don't know if they are engaged.
She married the one before me because I met her at church.
Yeah.
So literally within a 4-year time period, and I'm talking this timeline because I find it very interesting how from that time period of him coming into the world, you having him, you going all of these different places. By the time I came into the picture and you got him back within that 6-7 month time period that I had interaction with you, but at that time I had already been with your mom like a year or two and we got married. So then you got him back. And in that time period of getting him back and being, out there, because you're kind of in different places, in different situations. And I remember when we actually got the chance to actually physically meet, and this is, unfortunately, I'm just going to be real with you. It was tough to hear the dynamics or the narrative about you, mm-hmm. Right? And unfortunately, I try to give people opportunity to be who they are as long as they tell me I believe you who you say you are unless you show me different.
Right.
And so for you, to hear what you shared with me so far is like, wow. Because by the time we got to meet and become connected, I had this whole picture of you that was so totally different. Right. And because of the narrative that I was told about you, it was already apparent that I was being told a certain story about you, certain stories about you. So I think to create this space between us.
Right.
Right. And so in knowing that what I was told, it was a lot of times it was challenging, Germany, to see you dealing with what you were dealing with and not understanding how certain things wasn't adding up. Right. And feeling like, sometimes I was judging you inappropriately. So I'm gonna be very honest. And I can stand right now and say that I fully have to give apologies to that because, I was told that you had sexually transmitted diseases that you didn't have. I was told that you were, all of these mavens of this, the sex trafficking world and all these, just all these escapades, just a lot of things that was just a very untrusting way. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And to then, deal with the situation with you getting your son back. And then I know that you had gotten into another relationship at that point, some years later. Right. But the chaos and the confusion, right? And then to be now, I'm a part of the equation of the family, right? And there would be times where your mom would be pressing me about things that pertain to you, but she wasn't stepping into what I felt was her position to do as a mother. We're in Georgia, And like you said earlier, these partners, you know, I had a house 5, 6 years before I met her that I owned. I had my business. I had my cars. I had my comedy club that I had shut down prior to us getting together. I had already established this brand for years before, right? So then to connect to, to your family and being told a narrative about you and your brothers, not just you, but you and your brothers. And it is, and I'm honing in on this because narcissistically, like these type of behaviors are unhealthy. And people like myself that are targeted because we're trusting, we're typically caring, probably too trusting.
Yeah.
And then we become actually these enablers, right? And we start stepping into spaces that we really shouldn't be, you know? Very shortly after I, I married your mom, we had a huge wedding expo that your mom told, she told me all these stories about her doing these events and that she's doing all these things and all her history of doing business and, all this, narratives and stuff. And so I think that she knew and understood with me having the marketing arm and where I was, that I was this asset to what she was doing. And of course, you're supposed to support your spouse, right?
Right.
Do what you should do. But the thing is, what you didn't tell me is that, you go and do these grandiose things, like going to the Georgia World Congress Center and renting out an entire exhibit hall and writing a check that you can't even cash, that bounces, and continue to keep this event going for 5 or 6 months, which was literally 3 months after we got married. And uh, we get to a point of weeks before the event, and you're not pulling back from the perpetration of what you're implying that you're capable of doing, when I already know that this is way beyond, right? And then we get to a point where we just get publicly completely humiliated because you don't involved cancer awareness. You don't involve this woman that's supposed to be getting this wedding, this dream wedding, and you got all these vendors that you've tied into your, to your grand scheme of things. And then we get publicly put into a situation where another vendor that you approach outs you about your contract that's null and void for tens of thousands of dollars of space that you can't even perform. And it's funny because not knowing that you're not capable of really doing what you say or implying that you do. Like how you said you felt about her telling you that she was dealing with a woman, right? And that you felt, bamboozled in that way. You know what I'm saying? Like you made it seem one way, but it was really another.
Right.
And these behavioral things, I'm expressing it because there's a lot of people that are in these kind of relationships, whether they're parents, intimate relationships, social relationships, and you don't understand the certain things don't add up, right? And there's certain things that's happening and that's being said or done that are not adding up, that you are not really capable or able to do.
Right.
And then when it does not work the way it should, there's no accountability.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I can say for me, by the time you guys were, in my life, I had this whole full depiction of what was being told to me about you guys. So the hard part of this is that, shortly after you got your son back, and within what, 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
you end up getting pregnant again. Right. And our relationship starts to feel the
Well,
strain.
now within 2 years, but because they way apart. So like Jermaine was 7 when I got pregnant. Yeah,
Yeah,
2 years.
2 years. Exactly.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was. That's why I was like, that was 2 years.
That's horrible.
I know. But you know what's so funny? Like literally, one of the things that's crazy to me, and this is one of those things that, like sitting here now, I still feel like I can't believe that I didn't see things clearly. And I used to feel like I understood when you talked about the dynamics of dealing with your brother, dealing with the instability. And it's so weird because I went from having a home that I bought and owned and had been living in one address for 5, 6 years. And then when, you know, your mom comes into my life, it's like I took on the energy of how her life had been, the instability, being all over the place, not, you know, not having sensibility of things. You know, it was just this energy that just like overtook. But the bigger part of it that made it even harder, I think, for me, is that here I am in this relationship thinking that, you know, I'm having somebody, because I had never been married. This was my only one time physically getting married and trusting that situation. So to get to that and realize that what has been displayed as supposed to be a love connection was not any of that. Because we hit ahead when you got pregnant with your second son. And it's so funny, before you found out you were pregnant, you had came for a visit to the house where we were.
Right.
And I had just had a crazy experience dealing with your mom's situation and some of your family members, and they were at the house with us. And
right.
You know, I was believing one thing, and it was a whole nother thing that was happening in the parameter on the background of that. And so by the time you found out you were pregnant, at that time, ironically, my air conditioning had went out in the heart of the summer.
Yeah.
And my unit at the time, my neighbor was an AC HVAC guy. So he gave me a really, really good deal to replace the HVAC. So he's like, yo, $750, I'll install it. I got a system for you. I put it in. At the time, we was in between. I don't know what was going on, but literally from that failed event, my business took a hit for about a good year where nobody wasn't even doing business with me at all because of the association and connection of what took place. So then literally, I go borrow the money from my BFF at the time that you know. And little did I know, your mom talking to you about coming to Georgia, because you said every time you got pregnant, she would try to bring you forth. Point blank. She tells you to come, don't have this discussion or care with me. Now, what I didn't know is that at that time period, that you all had this communication and you did something to, you talked to her. You could kind of give me that background part, because here I am.
Sent her money to pay for her AC.
You sent her money. How much was it? You sent her?
I sent her like 600.
Okay. So here I am, the other spouse here, borrowing the money from a friend at the time who I had to get this money back to. And over here, my spouse is getting money from the daughter that she ain't told me nothing about, ain't told me about the money. Definitely did not get, we weren't on the same level as it pertained to you coming. And then you pull up on the house and we have a whole issue. And so for me, you know, to hear, Germany, what you have endured for 30 some odd years of your life, you know, I can say this now, that I regretfully, and this is the sad part, you got caught in the middle of something that really did not, you should not have been in the middle of, as it pertained to my spouse. First of all, you manipulated the situation, took money from your daughter, didn't even tell me you took the money. Then and the reason why you sent the money was because she told you to come.
Yep, and my baby daddy didn't want me there.
So she baited you to the situation and knew that you was providing money to quote unquote fix the air conditioning unit because it was in the summer, it was hot. So you couldn't come pregnant and be sitting up in the house.
Right.
Here it is. This money is sent to her. You don't lie to me, ain't told me. Meanwhile, I'm over here breaking my back trying to fix the air. Then you pull up on us and we got a whole issue. And literally within the second day, you take your son and y'all leave and go somewhere. And I politely, oh, no, let me back up.
I went to a cookout.
That's right. Back up. Because literally,
that was the second day.
We had an argument. We had a blowout. You left the house and we had a huge argument. And I left my own house for 2 days. And I think I forgot what she may have told you, but I left my own house for 2 days because at this point we were married at what, 3? We had been married 2 years. And I had already gotten to the point of like, it was so many things that had already just been taking place and that was just out of control. But it was like, okay, this is like too much. And so because of me leaving the house, and I think that there was this fear factor or this manipulation factor given, you leave the house and your mom implies that she is going to harm herself, right? Out of desperation of circumstances, manipulation. So naturally, you send me a text message with this implied thing in a figure in the text message that is a physical weapon. I call the police and they get involved, and you have no choice. You have to now succumb to the thing you done started.
Right.
She leaves the house and you leave the house. And by the time you came back to the house, she had already been picked up and taken to the hospital. And you come back to us doing this, And I graphically give this memory because I think it's important that people who are in relationships, because see, I am very much on the LGBTQ side, you over there on the straight side, right? So males, females, young, old, you need to understand and look and pay attention to people and watch these behaviors because it is all fully manipulation and intentional. You see what I'm saying? And so when the harm myself expose happens, then we over here battling, and I literally basically got to the point of what? Put you out of the house. Well, earlier today, before we got on this call and you sent me your song that I'm going to play, I literally just had a moment of saying, God, and the more you've shared these different things, I feel so freaking horrible that I became a conduit of responsibility of mistreatment of you, your son, and your unborn child. And I want to publicly apologize for that.
Okay. I forgive you. Shoot, it made me stronger. Shoot. It was already written. You know what I'm saying?
But it just goes to show. I'm gonna tell you something that's so funny in this moment. About 3 or 4 weeks ago, one of my friends in Atlanta suddenly passed on a business trip. She died, and they had to bring her body back to Atlanta, and they had her funeral. So one of my ministerial friends, he comes in from Texas, goes to Georgia to do to perform a service and do her eulogy. And he made this statement that just stuck with me. And he said that, how during the service, they allow people to get up and speak and talk about their friendship, their relationship, their, whatever endearing moments they want to have. And Pastor Will said during that service, he said, eulogizing is simply people speaking of you, speaking over your life and what you've been and done in their life. And he said, people will make you think or believe who they want you to think that they are. But he said, if you really want to know who or what a person is, he said, you ask their children and their spouses, because they are the two people that know best who that person really is.
Right.
And can I tell you, I just never encountered in an intimate relationship the level of manipulation and just covert. This ain't just narcissism. There's also a sliver of personality disorder, because we have all been led to believe that it's bipolar disorder, right?
Right.
But that diagnosis is not a complete one, right? And, you know, mental illness, and that's the other thing. If you're diagnosed in these things, you don't take the medication. You say you don't like to take medication. That's because you're not that. You can't take the medication that's prescribed for that because you're not that. Let's go first. Secondly, if I would have took the time to pay attention to how, and I'm not going to say I didn't at times, I just didn't understand a lot of how your brothers would move with her. You know, there was kind of this Heisman thing, right? The grandchildren, the same, right? And especially you, there was this whole dynamic of toxicity that was always given about you. Right? So if I would have really paid attention to the measurement of what was being said about you guys, and the way you all were being handled, or the way that, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And what's crazy is that I should have saw more deeper, because of how I know I was being handled in my upbringing, in the stories and the narratives that was being spent about me. You know what I'm saying? And I really can see myself in you in that way now, right?
Right.
But the thing that's crazy to me is that I remember last year, well, first and foremost, we met, your mother and I had this separation happen over 2 years ago. And shortly after me moving away from this situation, the messages went out to all of these people and all these stories. And she clearly told me that I'm not going to leave her out here, which meant, quote unquote, you about to spin these stories and let people believe and think that I've abandoned you and done all of this stuff. Right. The crazy part of it, though, was that I remember separating, just pulling away from you guys and just disconnecting, because I just had to. But when you sent me that text message last year of you and your mother jumping on you, that took me on a big spin. And I had already started breaking down what I recognized to be, like, this is not bipolar disorder, this is narcissism. You see what I'm saying? And this mask of the church, the ministerial, being pulled into becoming a sex trafficking advocate because, oh, this is my daughter's
Had
story.
nothing to do with me. It had nothing to do with me. I was the paper child. The poster child of the sex trafficking world, because that's what, okay, but you benefited from my sex trafficking. You benefited off of me doing anything with pimps. We paid your bills. We supported you, and they couldn't stand you. So a lot of times when they didn't meet my mom, they tried to keep me away from her.
And why was that?
Because they knew what type of person she was.
You know what's crazy? I remember your mama said to me one day, she said, I could be a madam. And I was like, oh, what? And when she said it, I was like,
hold on. Give me 1 second. Hold on.
Whew, child. I might need something a little stronger than this Coca-Cola.
So sorry. I'm the candy lady too.
So, I'm gonna tell you the other thing I think that's crazy is that if when I, you were saying about how the pimps and stuff would people would try to keep you away from her because of the type of person she was, and I think that's how, for me, that's how I got caught. When I got to Atlanta, a lot of people, I didn't run in a lot of circles. I knew a lot of folks, but I didn't run in a lot of circles, so I was kind of this mystery piece. And then I did not have anybody that I could literally give that I knew personally enough that could tell me about your mom and how she was and a lot of her
Right.
history. So all I had was what she told me, right? But literally the ex-wife, the one before me, I knew from a distance because we went to church together. And and it's so funny because I remember her telling me that woman, I remember her telling me how this woman had jumped on her and she told her she was a narcissist. And she's like, I'm not no narcissist. She's the narcissist. And, just spent this whole story, had me believing it, had me all engulfed in it. And I remember one day, we're going to the same church, and there was a group of friends, the ex that you talked about, this Savannah, right? Um, she literally was still in the friendship circle then.
Yeah.
I knew her. And there was a couple of other friends that she had. And so literally one day we at church, and I swear something went left real fast. I don't even know what happened, but that moment, the couple that were a female couple that was there with the ex spouse friend, was not the bestie. Literally, they looked like they were gonna kill her. And I didn't know what was going on. So she comes back to me and tells me, oh, the ex done spent this story, blah, blah, blah. So ironically, I think this ties in close to your experience and some things. So the ex that's in Chicago, we've connected.
Mm-hmm.
My mom told me about her.
Mm-hmm.
I knew who she was from a distance, and ironically, we both from Chicago. Ironically, we got a lot of things in common. We play drums. She came up in the gay house family realm, like myself. I performed back in the day. We had a lot of similarities, and of course, she told me about when they got married. You probably remember this. But for her to tell me that this woman took $30,000 and burned through her credit cards.
Yep.
That she literally spent her so bad and put her through. And when I tell you, talking to her was the real validation to know that I wasn't freaking crazy. That these 10 years of chaos and feeling like I've been riding in a car with no brakes.
Mm-hmm.
It then explains so much about you and your brothers. When a woman that we have 15 years in distance between, the dealing with the same person, who she also, in fact, has connection to the first husband.
Yeah.
Friends there. And so there's this level of consistency of all of these partners, spouses that have gone through having, like you said, the money, having the property, having their stuff together, and each and every single one of us depleted, financially ruined. I tell you, literally, there's been so many, like God has been working on me so hard these last 2 years.
Right.
And when you sent me that video of her, like I thought a man was jumping on you when the video came across. So I heard all this screaming. And then when I saw your face and then I saw her, and I was like, whoa. And the minute was like, the video was a minute long.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what in the hell? What was that? Like, what even brought that on?
Chick-fil-A.
Oh, let me guess. You didn't order the food the way she wanted it. You didn't get the kids meal.
I'm
You didn't get the
30.
kids meal.
She wanted to get me a kids meal and replace the toy for an ice cream. Like,
Yeah, in a cup.
but at this point, I was paying for it. So there's no point of us getting no kids meal if I'm coming out my pocket to pay for both of our meals. So she still was deciding that she wanted to order for me. And I said, Mom,
Wow.
It's okay. I can order for myself. I said, go ahead and order what you wanted to order. And she still was persistent. I said, ma'am, can I get a lemonade? That's all I want. Just want a lemonade. Give me my 12 count. I'm good. Well, she ends up telling the lady, okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get a large lemonade, put the ice on the side. And I'm looking at her like, if that's what you want, I will pay for that.
Right.
But me personally, I want my Chick-fil-A got the ice.
Now, this is the funny part, and I want you not to lose your place.
Okay.
Time period that you got your tax money back. Let's line it up. And my sweet, sweet girl that's sitting here in front of me, you're sitting physically where? Where are you right now that you've been living at for a year?
Hotel. Maintaining.
Okay. So you're at the Chick-fil-A.
So yeah, I go ahead and, whatever, Ma. Let's just go to the window and get our stuff. So they give me a large lemonade, my meal, her meal. She got a nice little salad, whatever the case may be. Cool. So we're driving off, and I said, Ma, you know what's really funny? I said, Ma, you are a grandmother. And I'm 30, at the time I was 36. I'm 37 now. I said, I'm 36 years old and I can't order my own food. I said, that's crazy. She said, I don't want to hear it. You being very disrespectful. I said, disrespectful? I said, I'm not being disrespectful, Mom. I'm just trying to let you know that I am 36. I am capable of making my own decisions for my food and my life. She told me to shut up. And I said, I don't understand why I'm having to shut up. I'm just saying I am old enough to make my own decisions. When it comes to, I don't want a kid's meal. I'm not a child no more, Mom. You better shut up. I should slap you right now. I said, and why would you even put your hands on me? For what? What will be the reason?
36 years old.
36.
Was that the first time she ever put her hands on you like that?
No, when I was 18, and I deserved that. I said, we on the same level. I'm grown because I was paying her bills. So I felt like you call me and ask me for money. We on the same page. I'm 18, I'm grown. She slapped me in my mouth. So that was deserving. I probably shouldn't have said that. Okay. We ain't on the same level.
That was disrespectful.
That was disrespectful. This one, I'm like, it was no disrespect. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't cuss. You know what I mean? I still don't cuss in front of my mom. And if I do it, I apologize before I even do it. I don't smoke around my mother. I don't do any of those things. As a 36-year-old, you know what I mean? Now that I'm 37, but as a 36-year-old, I have not done anything to try to disrespect my mom. Mm-hmm. But I've gotten so much disrespect. Mm-hmm. And I can no longer make an excuse for a woman, you know what I'm saying, to do all of these things and just say, oh, that's just my mom. Right. I love her. That's my mom. I love her anyway. Right. Okay, I can still love you and not be with you at all. I don't have to deal with any of those things. If you're not going to support my life truly and not just support me in my face, but then tarnish my name behind my back, then I don't need you a part of my life. And God had to start showing me, okay, this is your last straw. We already talked about this. I said, Ma, let's, you know what, I've been going through my awakening and things like that. Let's get back whatever had happened in the past, whatever you feel, however I feel, whatever you want to say about me, let's start over. Let's go from scratch. I said, because from what God is telling me is that we need to start building a better relationship so we can start breaking generational curses. And it starts between me and you.
Right.
That was what I told her. That was months before then. Then this particular day, she decided, that was the same day I got in an argument with my baby father, and he told me I would never see my son again. So I'm already going through that. I didn't take it out on you.
Right.
But for you to pull over in these white people neighborhoods and proceed to drag me out of your car, out of your friend's car.
Right. Let's go there. It ain't her car.
Not even your car, because you don't even have a place to live at this moment. You
Right.
don't have a car at this moment.
Literally, that was what, 3 months after she left California.
Right.
Being out here after we separated, and she stayed in that apartment with $2,100 for
Right.
11 months.
Tried to convince me to come with my child.
Right. And I told you, don't come out here because the
Right.
marshal's gonna put you and your child out because
Right.
he's
And be
sitting
in another situation.
pay, and I get a $21,000 bill from an attorney for her sitting in an apartment that she couldn't afford.
Yeah.
But you know, you think, let everybody believe that I don't do nothing, and I would. Well, go ahead, continue.
Yeah.
And
So you know,
2023 now. This ain't. This ain't a time ago.
It's not a long time ago.
I got that attorney letter still coming correspondence today.
Right.
Today for $21,000 for a 1-bedroom apartment. That was the cleaning part of it was a $3,000 part of the bill. How do you have a 1-bedroom with a $3,000 cleaning bill? And I took the pictures of what the place looked like when I pulled my stuff out of there. Okay, continue. Go ahead.
So yeah, you know, I it was a crazy day because I'm just looking at her. At first, initially, I laughed and I was like, "Mom, you playing, right? Like, girl, I know we is not. If you don't get back in the car, listen, like, no, you gonna get out." And I said, "I'm not getting out." I said, because this is not, you know, I just paid for you a rental car and gave you some money.
Oh, that's right. You just took the car back, and she picked you up to take the car back. Okay.
So
this was
I
last
just
year.
put money in your pocket.
This was a year ago.
Yeah.
Year. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. And I was in the worst place then than I was now.
Now. That's right.
Mm-hmm. So, you know what I mean? For me to come out my pocket, I gave her money. Boss got a rental car for you. You know what I'm saying? Now you want to beat on me. You tried to rip my nipple off. It just then, you know what I mean, scratching, pull my wig off, tore my shirt so all my boobs is hanging out. It was just too much. All because I said I can make my own decisions. And because I'm not going to allow you to keep controlling my life. And everything that you've asked me to do, and you say I don't do it, I've done it, and it has not worked. So I can't.
I'm also commend you and apologize to you on this, because after, I'm gonna say, from the point that I know of, 4 different hair salon suites that you go and open up. Germany need to come work. You go sign a lease, and the first check don't clear 4 times. Tampa, Florida, two times in Georgia. Tried to do it in California, and I was like, no, we're not finna do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but I've already seen my mom's business fail when I was younger. You know what I mean? The only one that was really successful was the hair salon that we had in our house in the garage, and transferred it.
How many
But
years?
other than, huh?
How many years ago was that?
That was like when
In the
I was
90s?
a little kid in the 90s. You know what I mean? Other than that, I haven't really seen any of my mother's businesses, all 20,000 of them, succeed the way she wanted to succeed. And I've been for my mom, but I've been the only child that's been for her the most.
Right.
I've been the
You
yes person.
mistreat the most. Right.
I've been the yes girl. When everybody else is saying no, it's me that's saying yes. I'm the one. Everybody's like, why didn't you just tell her no? Because that's my mom.
Yeah,
That's my mom.
I did the goofy shit too. So
You know what I'm saying? And I would never, you know what I mean? I never wanted to come against my mother, but when it comes to a point where
so you know you're being manipulated, honey, and you know that you're
yeah,
being drugged. Enough is enough. And this
yeah,
is
that was
not
my breaking point
yes,
when
and I
he
commend you.
decided to lie and call the
Continue.
police at that. Call the police and then lie to them in their face, saying that I tried to beat her up. I whooped her.
To get you arrested.
And they had three police officers. Oh, she heard the police officer say, "Oh, I think you might have a warrant in Valdosta," which is one that she was supposed to have taken care of.
And she knew that. So she was
Of,
hoping that they was gonna take it.
of course, and it's not active. Everything's good.
Thank God.
So, you know what I'm
Oof.
saying? And I'm like, but that could have been a case where you didn't care. My son was still out. He wasn't gone. So I have two kids. So you was gonna allow my
That
son to
that
still be
that your life
outside.
situations over the last 5 or 6 years, you don't even have them right now.
Mm-mm. Neither one.
And I'm just when I tell you, I had to pray before we got on here because I was like, how much of this conversation, how deep are we gonna go? But you know what I realized? If you don't expose this shit, it won't stop. It won't.
Right.
And I'm so like you, girl. I only had 10 years invested. And it
Yeah.
didn't take that long for me to lose everything. That same house foreclosed on.
Mm-hmm. And I was blamed for
You
that.
know,
It
and do you know,
was my fault.
baby? And this is the thing, like you had the audacity to leave this state and tell all these people how I've done all of this stuff to you. My people who I thought were my friends. I've had to sit back and watch these people play like, oh, we cool, but you're not. Heard the conversations. Let's talk about the trips. We had a mutual friend that was getting married, COVID, lives out of the country. We were going to go to the destination wedding in Hawaii. Of course, my flight benefits was in position. So, your mama want to ride them. So COVID happens. They had to reschedule to the next year. Our friend in Miami, you and the baby met.
Right.
I'm not.
Yeah.
So it got moved from Hawaii to Greece.
Well, yeah, I remember.
And then 2021, COVID was crazy in the UK. So they had to push it to 2022. So 2022, Greece, my birthday week. And at this point, I had had enough. I was done. I had already separated, but my intention was to still go to the wedding. I had never been to Greece. I'm thinking me and the friend are still on mutual territory.
Mm-hmm.
So of course, your mom goes and spins the narrative. So when I made contact to him to find out about the arrangements, he's kind of vague. He ain't giving me too much, nothing. I get off the phone with him. Your mother calls me and says, oh, yeah, he's uncomfortable with you coming. He knows about us, our divorce, and he would prefer that you not be there and cause stress and strife. Woo! Okay, so I done got uninvited. But before the uninvited part, let's back it up.
Mm-hmm.
So when it was told it was going to be in Greece, your mama had the audacity to say to me,
I'll give
well,
me a ticket.
she gonna tell me, we should renew our vows and invite people to come. We should make it a travel trip. and you're going to invite one of the people that's his ex that he don't even want to know that he get married, and you trying to figure out a way to have him come. Oh, it gets better. Then you tell me we can renew our vows. I said, hold up. That boy is getting married. What do we look like coming to the man marriage, wedding, destination wedding, and then we're just gonna overtake his wedding? And see, I ain't paid attention, Germany. This is how I got baited into the marriage in the first place, because she did it with your brother. When your brother called and said, hey, mom, I'm getting married in Martha's Vineyard, she got off the phone with him and was like, you know what, Sonny, we should go get married in DC and then go to his wedding. And like a dummy, I said yes. Okay. So needless to say, so this boy's wedding is coming up. I said, first of all, this man is getting married. We're not doing that. Second of all, my birthday is that week. How about I can celebrate my birthday after we do his wedding? Homegirl told me, well, you can just come. I can handle everything, and I can put it all together. You can just show up.
Of course.
That's when so that was one of a couple of things, but that was just like, okay, you are certified.
Mm.
So then the following year, we separated. Homeboy done told me what he said. Your mama gets with one of her friends, because she wasn't flying on my flight benefits at that point. That was over with. She get a one-way ticket, and I know you remember this. She gets the one-way ticket, goes to Europe, go to bed, and then within a day or two, she calling my godmama. She
got me.
And get this, my godmama said yes. So I got the call from Daba Daba Daba, and she said that she had an international trip and didn't know the bags were going to be extra money. So could you send her $100 for the bags? Who goes out of the country and ain't got no money for bags?
She do. She went all the way over the world with no money.
Sleeping on the beach, all kind of, yeah. I know. So literally you get over there, but this one, it gets better. So you, a couple other people now telling me that she ain't got no bread over there. One of my friends said, you know what? Because see, she already started to be really found out and exposed in this light. And so one of my folks next to me, who really been waiting on me to wake up, was like, you know, she over there with no money and telling people that it ain't what it looks like over here. I'm over here with no food, nowhere to stay. Got your bags. You taking all these little stupid pictures like you do. My friend said, I guarantee you that she gonna do one or two things. She gonna tell them people over there she got robbed, because she gonna have to find a way to get home and get money. And baby, it wasn't the next day, girl. What pops up on the picture on the feed? The Grease police and her statement of them coming to the rescue. And she sat her butt over there for 2 weeks.
Collecting checks. Collecting donations.
And let's talk about donations. Let's talk about these causes that you be duping all these people to believe that you partake in.
Yes, the raffle tickets is the one.
Raffle tickets. Like, how do you get a bike that was given to you to give to an autistic family that you're connected to? You take the bike and then raffle it off for money, and then you raffle it off to a doctor that don't even need it. That has nothing to do with autism, that the bike was given to you free, electric bike, a $2,000 bike.
Yeah, nice one.
Let's talk about my business client out here that you were introduced to while I was shooting her commercial, and I told you to bring me something I forgot at the house, and you meet her. I didn't want to introduce you to her, but you meet the lady, get close to her, then you do a whole photo shoot at the girl's place. We separate. Then you go and start telling these women all these woe is me stories, get her all close to you, call that same godmama back, had her buying her clothes all the way from Florida, damn near $1,000 worth of inventory, because you wanted the woman to trust you. Then you turn around and bait the woman into paying $2,500 to do a pop-up shop at our building, at our beautiful rooftop and 2 levels building.
And nobody show up, probably.
That nobody showed up. One, that you get paid to do the marketing for. And how about this? The space that we got, when you do a free event, you don't have to pay for that space.
Well, she charged the driver.
So that woman calls me and says, you know what, Sonny, I paid for this lesson. And she said to me directly, she said, why would you introduce me to your wife if you knew she was that kind of person? And I was like, first and foremost, I didn't introduce you to her. I didn't make her your buddy. But second of all, the woman said, I got to admit, I paid for that lesson. She said, I could see how you got all caught up, all of the pizzazz and all the flair. She said, but at the surface, ain't nothing there. And I was just like, wow. And this is after 5 months. She comes to have that experience. And so, as you know, I'm like, you so bold, you defraud an entire country. And it's like the countless relationships of people that have been burned and broken. And I got to the point where I got tired of being embarrassed,
Right.
being humiliated, being homeless with a house. People say, Sonny, how you get to California? Well, let's see. During the time period, you came back with the baby. Remember, you came back. I asked you to come back to the house because here you are with a newborn baby in the streets of Alabama in a car with a newborn baby in the freaking freezing cold. He was born in January.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, enough already. My anger of the situation is not greater than you being out there in the street like that. And I said, come back to the house. 4 or 5 months after that incident, right?
Right.
And within a few months, I had those plane tickets. We took the trip to Hawaii because I didn't want to lose the tickets because they were going to expire. They were tickets open. So we get over there, and long and behold, I get opportunity. I get some business. Got hired. Got a job. Left you at the house with the babies. But financially, you weren't in a position. You just had a newborn baby. But I was hoping that somewhere or another something would make sense, because at this point it really wasn't a plan. Hawaii was a fluke. We went on vacation for 10 days and ended up staying for months. And my mortgage, at this point, I'm trying to, I took advantage of the opportunity of having a job there because business wasn't consistent. My reputation was being tarnished every time I looked around because of the association with your mother. Let's be real. But then outside of that, I get a client that strokes a check with me for $5,000 for me to do all her branding and marketing. Her business is blowing up, and that same woman, here go your mama, checkbook pocket in her, and jumps all over her to do what? A hair show, 1 and 2. And you got our friend over here trying to create financials for you to try to go and open a salon suite in Hawaii. That's an $800,000 property, and the man looking for you to give him $28,000. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So it's these things that just constantly, and I'm like, okay, Georgia, you leave Georgia, we're in Hawaii. You leave Hawaii, and now we're in California. It's the same shit. It ain't the place. It's you.
Yeah.
So you're in Georgia in the house, and we're in Hawaii, and I'm like, Germany, I love you, but if utilities, rent, mortgage, I'm paying $4,000 or $5,000 in expenses in Hawaii. Your mother ain't working. She laying on the disability level of income. That's her groove.
Right.
She want to do 5,000 businesses.
My McDonald's check won't cut in. I'm paying all my McDonald's check just to keep lights on and stuff that my mom didn't tell me that stuff was overdue with no lights and the gas getting cut. I'm like, well, I just paid the $300. You just told me that was all it was, and it will be something on top of that, and it was extra. And I never knew the whole time that I was there. I never knew that they were backed up.
We both go looking stupid because neither one of us really knows the other side of the big picture. This is how narcissistic behaviors look. They will have you over here thinking one thing. They got everybody believing this. They got another narrative spent, and this is the fucked up part. they'll have you stepping in front of the gun to protect her. Be having you thinking that you are. And let me say this. I got to say this. This is Pride Month, and I need all of my LGBT people. I got Dating Like a Dyke now streaming on LouddMouth TV for a reason, because when I tell you all, we got to do better, especially my stud, masculine, androgynous, identified women. Stop thinking that you saving people. Stop standing in the heat of fire, or I'm gonna be everything that this wasn't doing for you. That's the bait. That's the ridiculousness. That is the unhealed toxicity that we are prevarating in this community. Because even right now, you already know your mama ain't played no games. She on to the next one. I literally don't know. Even though we got a mutual connection there, I don't know that woman. I pray for that woman every day, because I know she over there thinking she on a God's love mission. Until you in that boat, because this is what my life felt like all the fucking time. You just go over here to plug this hole, and then the other hole is running. Then you run to the other side of the boat, you try to plug it. Then you run. You know how crazy I used to be fucking looking around here all the time?
Yeah.
You know, because one day you just outright said, Sonny, why you let her talk to you like that?
It's enough is enough. Like, you can't be being disrespected. Like,
I literally recognize that this is why this web series is happening. And I have to take something of 10 years that was fucking horrible, chaotic, confused, and like, to lose yourself to the capacity when my friends, homies, people like, man, Sonny, you don't even smile like you used to. You gaining all this weight. Literally like 6 months before I left, I wasn't sleeping. I was so stressed. How I got a business named LouddMouth and I couldn't even talk. Germany. I stopped broadcasting live. See, the funny part about this, when you were in Georgia, we were in Hawaii, and then I had to come back to Georgia and fight because I had two bad mistakes. I rented the house to the first person, unbeknownst to this, don't need to know the lady, vetted her, dotted the I's, crossed the T's. This woman made $10,000+ a month, didn't matter. First thing she signed that lease, she says, you know, Sonny, do you want to lease your house or sell it? I said, no. I said, your rent is my mortgage. I just need you to pay that. I'm already over here doing everything I can. Sonny's working, trying to push my business. Wife that don't work, refuse to work, always trying to spin a business. Okay. I'm over here on bankruptcy payments. That's not even a mortgage. Bankruptcy is one part. Then I got the mortgage payment. Then we living in Hawaii. So you already know that's $5,000 a month, $6,000 a month to live over there. So when the girl stopped paying, I come back to Georgia, evict her, get her out, made the utter mistake, rented to, I thought, a friend who brought her ass in my house. And whoa. Because I was supposed to be doing the Airbnb thing in the basement so we could have someone to come back to. She was going to, you know, another narcissist, I realized, had me thinking her man was beating on her, spit me a whole story. I come back in Eagles Landing in Georgia, with my house looking like a trap house. My neighbor's like, who the hell and what's going on in your house and why? And because I didn't go back to Hawaii right away, and I was trying to fix the house up in the basement to finish it, I was seeing all of these people that you was in my house like a rooming house. And this one makes it so messed up, Germany. I made you and those children leave that house because you couldn't financially afford to maintain it.
Yeah, and I kept it clean and everything.
I would have been better off leaving you there
What?
and figuring out a whole nother.
Right.
I should have had you Airbnb in the freaking rooms, girl.
Yeah, because I had a few people that needed it. You know what I mean? I had told my mom about it. I was like, you know, they had the money ready to move. You know what I'm saying? As soon as I heard about it, and I was like, she's just like,
You know,
no, we have our own things going.
yeah, in the midst of it, you know, and when you're in that much duress, I was under so much stress, and I'm flying back and forth. I got a job. These people looking at me like, why you keep going back and forth? And I'm dealing with my house. And so it took 10 months, 11 months of going back and forth. So finally, of course, the tenant doesn't pay, doesn't do what she needs to do. I come back, file the eviction on the second tenant, get the eviction in magistrate court. And this is for people who don't realize Atlanta, Georgia, Henry County, that's some heat of the night shit going on over there, okay? It was like a Lifetime movie. People wouldn't even believe that I had a restraining order put against me about my own house. The judge locked me up about my own house.
Yep.
So by the time we go back to court, for me to get I got the first eviction in magistrate court. She appealed and went to Superior Court and got it overturned. At this time, we don't have Hawaii no more. We ain't got no place to stay in Hawaii no more because we don't have to give that up. I couldn't maintain it. We come back. I go to court. The judge puts me on restriction to even go back to my own property. So me and my 2 dogs, your mama was over here in California, supposedly for a couple of days to get taxes done, right? I'm in Georgia trying to handle this situation. And I find myself having to find somewhere to live. So Sonny just got hired on at the airport, got a new job working for the airlines. I can't not lose my job, even if it was part-time. So what do? I go all the way to Macon Middle, Georgia, and find an office where this man didn't give me no flake. He rented me immediately 24-hour access, and me and my dog slept in a 10 by 12 office room. And when I told your mother that the courts turned around our eviction and put a restraining order against me, she said, I ain't coming back there. And she stayed right here in California, over invited herself on our friend here, to the degree you in a rental car for 3 days that you keep for what, 6 days? For 6, 7 weeks. Run up a $4,000 credit card bill that you don't have. You only took the car back because they told you they're gonna lock you up if you don't bring it back.
Yeah.
And literally, me and those dogs was in that suite for 5 months, 6 months. I think she came back after like 3 months. But every day you out here in California posting pictures of the winery and flowers and drinking coffee, and you literally was sitting in your car watching Netflix every day. And our friends are looking like, when is she leaving? When is she going home? Or what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
And they offer you to pay rent for the room. You don't even do that. You just start sleeping in the car in front of their house. Just stupid shit.
Yeah.
Oh, and let's not fail forget, you all in everybody inbox on Facebook asking for money.
Yeah.
Well, I look as a spouse. You were one of them. And what you doing? And let's even go here. Jeremy, another apology I owe you. Anybody that knows us has seen how much traveling and stuff, and of course, I work for the airlines. I had the flight benefit, but still, how do you be flying around and you know your children and your grandchildren in the street?
Oh.
Our friends sending your daughter and grandchildren Christmas gifts, money. Hell, let's go here. My coworkers don't even know this girl. When I literally finally fought to get my house back, to put in, the lease expired. That's how I got the lady out and turned off the lights. And a month later, I lose my house. And so literally I had a lawsuit against the courthouse, the Henry County Superior Court. I had a lawsuit against my mortgage company because of the way that the foreclosure and the paperwork and the title was handled. Too active. And that judge went against his own ruling and did an illegal eviction. I come home to all my shit outside after 12 years of owning this house that your mother used to talk about all the time, that she hated. Mm-hmm. And to have that happen and fight for 5 months, and then the summer of 19, I got locked up because the mortgage company put a trespassing warrant against the illegal eviction that they did, and actually locked me up. And your mother encouraged me to go to get my fingerprints done for my real estate license at the time. And she told me, she said, I knew that I wanted you to go. I didn't want them to come find you, so I wanted you to go to the courthouse. Me not thinking that that the warrant was even going to happen. And the warrant was there and they locked me up. And after I got out, I just finally, German, I couldn't do nothing. I couldn't hold on no more. I couldn't do nothing no more. I was depleted. I called them insurance, the mortgage company, and told them I'm just going to get all my stuff out of the house. Even the lady that put the warranty in came and helped us move my stuff out that house. And it's funny, the first episode of Data Like a Dyke, and it's so funny, and just to even be able to say this, and I look at that video and I look at the essence of it, and I'm like, U-Haul, and this is very true what I put there. But to know that U-Haul was where I spent a week at after I moved all my stuff out. I slept in that van in front of my house because we had nowhere to go. And to the friend out here said, y'all come out of the street and come over here and regroup. And that's how I got to California. So to get to this point of, being a realtor, with a homeless realtor, having a house, being homeless with a house for years with your mother, all over the place. I look at, and I've prayed for you and your brothers, because I can only imagine how life has been for you guys living like that for 30, 40 years. Your brother's almost 40, you 37, brother. And I think even your younger brother now, like you said, is starting to realize, yo, what does he come to?
He's like, I'm really starting to realize that mom's really a narcissist, and I am too. Like he said, I have a lot of narcissistic ways, being around mom so much, because he's more so like,
Yeah.
my mother than me and my oldest brother. But yeah, I mean, he's really gotten to the point where he's like, enough is enough.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be perceived like this. I don't like the way she's made us feel. You know what I mean? And he had it bad too. Like he had it really bad. You know what I mean? At 18, being put out in Chicago streets in the wintertime and not being able to get a jacket or food or whatever the case may be. And I'm having to sneak and feed him. You know what I mean? It just was not
It ain't cool, because
a good
situation. Even for me, coming out here to California, it took me 4 months to get my job to transfer. So I would literally be here. I flew our dogs out here with our friend, and I would fly back to Atlanta for 3 days for work. And I literally would get off the plane, go clock in my uniform, work my shift, go in the bathroom, change my clothes. And I would go to the international terminal and look like a passenger and sleep there till the next day, and then change back in my uniform and work for 2 days straight. And fly back here to try to figure it out. Driving Uber, working whatever I could do, working my job, doing my business. Out here without a real network of people, because I'm still trying to establish myself. Then COVID hits, and I think the midst of COVID gave me time to sit still, and I couldn't run from the obvious anymore. And I think a couple of things that happened, watching her manipulate a friend of ours when her birthday happened here. And we had people that flew in town, and a friend of ours was like, you know what, I want to do a cruise on the Sunday. And I watch her Zelle your mom $1,000 for this boat. And this whole birthday event was happening with connection. She baited our broker, our real estate broker. I actually helped her get her real estate license when I got mine out here. And she convinced the real estate broker to do this networking event so that she could throw her party for her birthday. And what happens 2 weeks after we put this event in the works, my broker's entire family came down with COVID. All her kids. She went to visit her mom the weekend that she wasn't feeling well, against her own thoughts. And unfortunately, her mother caught COVID. So the broker and her mother both end up being hospitalized, deathly hospitalized. Our broker gets intubated. she was scared, and her mother was so frightened she wouldn't do it. So her mother physically dies while she's in a coma. So we're in our place working on this event. And before our broker was put into, this intubated state, your mom's on Facebook talking about this event and how we're trying to do our best, pray for our broker and her family because they came down and sick. And so she's sitting there with this tube in her mouth or whatever she, breathing, she's on oxygen. And she's feeling bad that her family can't pull the weight of what this event was supposed to be with the two of us. And she zells your mom $400-$500 for the liquor. And I watch your mother with her and the friend. She took this money and she said, Sonny, it's my birthday. I'm going to do what I want to do. And took that money from them. And then misappropriatedly used it for something else. And when the friend that sent that $1,000 flew here from Georgia, got here, she's all excited, looking forward to the party. Was that Friday or Saturday, and the boat thing was supposed to happen that Sunday. I couldn't even find the words. And I said, I am not covering, I'm not protecting you no more. I'm not working double-sided to make shit not look as bad as it is. Because that's the other part. That's the bad part that I played. And you and your brother said that I was the worst enabler. I was with her. But when she took that child's money, and I had to watch, my friend kept saying, when we gonna go on the boat? When we go on the boat? When we gonna go on the boat? And I refused to explain that to her. And I watched your mother tell her, oh yeah, they overbooked the boat, but when he sends me the money, I get it back to you. And you lied to her. And then for you to take advantage of a woman who was fighting for her life, our broker almost died. She came out of that coma 3 months and had to learn how to walk, talk, and do everything again. This, I know y'all stories are way worse, but I just know that, I feel like, it's been hard being judged, being misjudged, because a lot of these people don't really know me. They think they do. Just like you. Like Germany, it's been some days I have literally cried that I have been a part of such ill-mannered behavior as it pertains to you and your babies on different occasions because of me being in my feelings about your mother and my attitude fighting with her. And it wasn't fair to you all. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I feel like there was this article I saw last year about this woman who was so narcissistically out there that she literally had all these people believing. She was an actual successful broadcast journalist for a number of years. She divorced her husband and she just lost her wit. And she literally gave her alma mater a $2 million check for an endowment. The school puts this huge event on. The night of the event, they came and pulled her to the side and said, yo, your check didn't clear. This woman was living in a parking garage and had everybody fooled that she was a millionaire. It got so bad, her family they tried to intervene with her and they couldn't really control her. And finally, somebody that was a friend, they convinced the family member to tell her that they were going to let her house sit this apartment that they had, but the family had actually rented it just to get her away from other people. You know what I'm saying? To try to protect the public from her.
Right.
I feel like in this situation that me and the 8, 9 other ex-husbands, ex-wives behind me, and the ones in front of me, that if somebody would stop this in my tracks, I wouldn't have endured what I endured.
Right. Hold on one second.
Moments like these.
Sorry. But yeah, we might have to do part 2.
We're gonna wrap this because we've been on here for a minute. And I was just gonna say that I think it was super important that, one, you have a vindicated moment.
Right.
Because for 37 years, you have not been given that opportunity. And I wanted to do 2 things real quick, and we're going to wrap.
Okay.
I want to play your song.
Okay.
That's amazing. And then 2, I want you to put your Cash App, because this is my thing that I'm going to say in the public right now, is that this young lady that sits here on this call with me today, by all right, I wish you nothing but utter success for your business, for your bartender business. You're over there hustling, selling food, candy. You can you scan your setup a little bit?
So we are officially in business. I make drinks. We have the cocktails. Some 2024 candy lady in effect.
Yes, I told you get the brown paper bag so you can put your candy.
Right.
Official, and you got to get the big pickles. I told you got to get the big pickles.
Right.
But I want to share your Cash App, because I want anyone that feels so much in their heart at all to support you, to support your business, to support your ability to stand, your ability to, stand in your own right of who you are unapologetically,
Right.
and still persevere, considering, all of the obstacles that you have been unwillingly given, that has just manifested into your adult life. But I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you shifting, and I'm proud of you fighting to get that bartender's license, and getting, that's something I know for a long time you wanted to get you out of that situation, and you finally did it. And it took you to break away from the toxicity to do it.
Right.
Can you tell us your Cash App?
My Cash App is 82 Bossman, BOSSMAN. The name is Trey on it. It is my Cash App. I get all the money directly. And that's it.
And what's the name of your company?
Oh, my company's name is called Tasty Pleasures, LLC, and all of my drinks have sexually explicit names. We're very fun about it. And we also do mocktails, which are called tasty versions. So we do cater to people that don't drink and people that drink. And most of my drinks are daiquiris, but of course, like I said, I'm a licensed bartender, so I mix up all type of good little goodies.
You're in the Metro Atlanta area.
Yeah.
Don't disclose your exact location, but you're in Metro Atlanta, on the east side of it, the east.
Yes.
Perimeters.
East Coast.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna play your song, and this is gonna be our wrap. And this song you sent me today, as soon as it played, girl, it moved me. And I'm so proud of you. I know you worked on this song for maybe a year or so, like that.
Yeah, for about a year. I mean, it's still, I wanted it to sound a little bit more authentic and me instead of so crisp. Because I know a lot of people are like, oh man, you should have edited to make it sound like so. I want it to be more real for people.
Right.
Right. I needed it to connect with people instead of being more of a, because I'm naturally on myself. I'm trying to be a perfectionist, and I know it's not going to be perfect ever.
So can't help it. That's all.
The message is that we are really embracing us as people, ourselves, and being able to push forward and encourage ourselves and create our own happiness. And that's basically what I've had to try to do for myself. I made this affirmation basically really for me, but I knew that it would be something of a bigger, scale of, other people being encouraged and knowing that, it's okay to be you, good or bad.
Yes.
And we all make mistakes, we all forgive. I'm never gonna forget, but I can forgive, and I can move on with love, you know what I mean? So hopefully people are encouraged by the song. And change. Okay.
So guys, this is Faith, and her song is called I Am Me. And y'all support this young lady, man.
I know life gets rough, and all we want to do is give up. But there's no more giving up, and there's no more making excuses for ourselves. Lift your head up and continue to walk in your greatest destiny, because Because now you're walking into your I am me era.
I am me, just me. You got this. I am me, just me. Don't be so hard on yourself. I am right where I need to be. Never gonna fall, never gonna fall. No, no, I am right where I need to be. Never gonna fall, never gonna fall. No, I am strong. I stand tall. I am when you know.
I'm here for you to find me.
The more I focus my mind upon the good, the more good comes in my life. You got this. Through the power of my thoughts and my words, incredible transformations are happening. I am allowed to enjoy the moment without worrying about what's next or whether something will go wrong. I am aware that the strength and the knowledge I've gained from my experiences can help others gain their strength as well. I am right where I need to be. Never gonna fall, never gonna fall. No, no, I am right where I need to be. Never gonna fall, never gonna fall. No, no. I believe in myself, and I refuse to give up on myself. I love the sound of my feet walking away from whatever no longer suits me. I rise above stress that is trying to weigh me down. I am going through a difficult time, but I am coming out stronger and better than before. My energy is too precious to waste on stress, anxiety, and overthinking. Instead of holding on to what I could have done, I am taking action to what I can do now. I am right where I need to be. Never gonna fall, never gonna fall. No, no, I am right where I need to be. Never gonna fall, never gonna fall. No, no.
Be encouraged and keep striving to be great. Because you are. You are. You are. You are. You are. You are.
Thank you.
Amazing. And you are wonderful. And you are, I'm so proud of you because you are not what has been going on with you. You're not that. You know that, right?
Yeah.
You're
Could have been
perfect.
worse.
Honey, that's right. We're still here to be able to do something. So I appreciate your time, your transparency, your honesty, and I wanted this for us.
Right.
So I'm grateful that we've had this time, honey, and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate for allowing me to come on and speak my truth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Next step is the book and the movie, you know?
I'm here for it. Popcorn ready.
Okay.
I want you to have a wonderful night.
All right,
Make
you
some
too.
money.
Thank you.
Look,
I
I'll
will.
be listening to your night. I'll make some money, honey.
I know. Bye. All right, thank you.
Okay, I'm so grateful for this opportunity, and I hope that some significant healing happens beyond this space. Y'all be blessed. Hey guys, I just wanted to make this quick video as you guys have just saw this in the studio conversation, which is only a snippet of the inspiration behind my new comedy series, the relationship comedy series, Dating Like A Dyke, which is now streaming on YouTube, my YouTube channel, LouddMouth TV. I wanted to also impart one more thing here. I hope that this message can truly help others just as much as it aided Faith and I in reconciling with one another. You just bore witness to both of us having accountability of our own past experiences and taking the necessary steps to repair the damage that has been done between us for one toxic common connection. As we are both individually working through our own personal traumas from our own encounters of various narcissistic relationships, we hope that our stories can inspire others to heal. So I invite you to share this content in this episode, as well as to tune in to my comedy series, Dating Like A Dyke, on LouddMouth TV. And as of this date, currently, I have 3 of those episodes up for season 1, and I look forward to you subscribing to this channel and looking forward to the additional episodes that will be uploaded in the future. I pray that you're blessed. I pray that you're well, and we pray that this content and this message becomes clear and can be helpful to you all. Thank you. God, I can't sleep like this.
You see, this is precisely how you ended up on the journey that you're on. You weren't paying attention to the signs. And clearly, there were signs.
You're listening to the LouddMouth Radio Network.